hello, how are you? I'm Pia. Welcome to a 5-star predictions reading vlog. I had a little crisis the other day. I had a little existential crisis. I was thinking about the things that I read and the things that I have on my want to read, specifically on Goodreads, because that's where I have all the books I've ever thought about wanting to read. I went through it and I realized that many of them I do not foresee giving 5 stars. That's a little bit sus, right? And I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, well, there's either two ways that this is going. Either I am prioritizing books that I don't think I'm going to like or love, I guess, or I have read all the books that I think I would give 5 stars to. I just don't think that second one's plausible because I read so much and I'm always learning about new things that I want to read, so I don't think that's the case. So I took a hard look at that. I went through all my want to read on Goodreads and I made a whole list of a bunch of 5-star predictions. So this video is kind of half 5-star predictions, half reading the 5-star predictions. I came out with about 20 in my want to read that I think I will get 5 stars out of a couple hundred. And this week I'm going to be focusing on prioritizing those books. So I came up with 5 challenges for myself to read 5 different 5 stars. I'm going to read from 5 different genres and 5 different challenges. So here's what so for my challenges, I have 1, I want to read 1 YA book. I want to read 1 adult book. I want to read 1 book by a author I already gave 5 stars. I want to read 1 book from a new author. And then 1 more, I want to read a backlist book from 2022 or later. I also wanted to read from 5 different genres in this video. I will be reading from the literary/contemporary genre, the fantasy genre, the memoir nonfiction genre, romance genre, and horror. So for filling in all these 5 prompts, I'm not going to tell you which goes into which. You can kind of figure it out. But I came up with 5 books that I think I will give 5 stars. And so hopefully this video comes out with 5 5-star books. First is Disorientation. This can count as an adult book. This can count as a new author to me. And it is also came out in 2022. I got this from the library and that's why I really want to prioritize it. It's a coming of consciousness, literary fiction, kind of weird stuff. I honestly don't know what's happening, but I'm very excited to read it, so that's why I got it. Then we have horror. We have I'm Thinking of Ending Things. This is by Ian Reid. This also can count for adult, also can count for backlist, also can count for the fact that I've given Ian Reid's We Spread 5 stars. So I already started this one and I will let you know about it in a minute. Next is Daughter of the Burning City. This is by Amanda Foody. This can count for my YA. This is a fantasy, and this is by an author I have not read from before. This is about ghosts, and I believe it also has ace representation, and it just seems like something I would really like. And then we have In the Dream House. This is a memoir and it's told in a bunch of different styles. Each chapter is in a different form. I actually don't know, and playing around with genre, I actually don't know how to describe this, but I'm going to try to read this, hopefully. I think if I read it on my own time, take my time with it, I will enjoy it, because I might also have to read it for a class next semester. But, well, I've kind of read stories by the author before, but this did come out before 2022, and it is adult. Are there age categories for memoir? And then lastly is Honey and Spice. This is a adult romance by an author I haven't read from before that came out in 2022 or before. So yeah, those are the 5 books I'm planning on reading this week. Hope that these books will also be able to influence what other books I pick up that I will really enjoy. I don't know, inform my reading in some ways. First book I already started. I'm Thinking of Ending Things last night. And then I've been reading it in class and on the public transport, you know what I mean? So I am on page 62. This is shaping up to be like the other Ian Reid that I read, We Spread. It's eerie. It's written really well. I just love his writing so much. His dialogue's really, really good, but I also really like the short sentences and how he describes things is very straight and to the point. It's not overly written, which I really appreciate. The horror parts of this are just unsettling, and I'm not sure if we're gonna I think we're gonna find out what is happening. I actually had someone today, I brought this to class because I read it before class started. Someone asked me, they were like, is that book based on the Netflix movie? I was like, or is it the other way around? I was like, yeah, it's the other way around. But anyway, apparently the movie's good, so maybe I will watch it. I'm very interested. This is, to give a brief synopsis, it's about a young woman in a relationship, and she's thinking about ending the relationship. I don't even know how to explain this. It it does have a Hitchcockian vibe to it. That's interesting that they say that. And then there's like this caller, like this mysterious caller element where our main character is getting phone calls, and they're very spooky, and we don't know what the purpose of them are. Hello friends, it is nighttime. It's been a day. I feel like Mondays are always like this, but especially every other week. They're crazy. But I did read a good chunk of I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I'm almost halfway through it. 102 right now, because I had time before class and I had time while on the train and stuff, so I am really liking this. It's super weird, and like I'm getting to the horror part. It's a slow build, and you know, as promised by Ian Reid, and it's interesting. I'm very excited to keep reading this, but I'm not going to read it tonight because it might get scary or creepy and unsettling, and I just don't want that vibe before I go to sleep. So I'm going to start Disorientation because this is like slower and like literary and stuff. Well, that one's literary too, but I don't think I have described what this is about, but I will probably give you a better description / synopsis once I have started it. So I'm going to start this now and read for a little bit before I crash. I just got back from my book club, but I have a reading update for you and a book that I bought update for you. First, I bought Tender Buttons by Gertrude Stein. I read this in my class, one of the classes I'm taking recently, and I decided to write my paper on it, so I decided to buy it because I want to like look through it and stuff, and I listened to the audiobook as I read this one, and it's a poetry collection. It's super interesting. I'd really recommend trying it, to be honest, like because I don't really like a lot of poetry, and I really like this. So yeah, it's very short and I bought it. So yeah, I also finished I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's up for there. I don't want to get it. But I started Disorientation. I started last night actually. Almost 80 pages into Disorientation, and I'm really liking this one as well. I will give you my update of I'm Thinking of Ending Things tomorrow. But I am really liking this. Like totally very weird, but the subject matter is like something I really find interesting. Like I love reading about like academics and like people in academia. Like our main character is just so like she's beyond stressed. Like stress isn't even the word to describe her anymore. Like she just is like she can't do it anymore. She can't handle it. She's addicted to antacids. She is like not writing her dissertation, but she didn't want to write this like dissertation in the first place. Like she wanted to write it on, I believe, modernism actually, funny enough, because I was just talking about that. But because of her race, she was like pigeonholed into writing about this like famous, like this canonically famous Chinese poet, and she's Taiwanese and Taiwanese American, and she just like cannot write this, like she literally cannot write this, and so instead she kind of falls down this rabbit hole of like investigating this one little like annotation that she finds in one of the like research things, one of the papers that she is using for research, and it's like this little annotation and it leads to a name, and this name is an anagram, and that name is a pen name, and it's just like this whole kind of unraveling, and it's just kind of like I don't know, the descent into madness, I guess, in some ways, but it's really interesting, and I'm really enjoying kind of just seeing where this will take her, like what's gonna happen next. I have no idea like how far she's willing to go to like just not write this, and I just really like it. I think the characters are all really rich. Like I said, the story feels like really real in some ways. Like I really feel like our main character is super strong, and then there's also like a good, the authors also built up like this cast of characters around the main character who are all really interesting as well, and I'm just really enjoying reading this. It's very fun. Well, not fun, but it's very interesting to read, and I actually am also like, I got the audiobook from my library, even though it's a library book, because I was physically reading it and then I was physically in the audiobook, and that's generally like the most enjoyable reading experience I get out of like most things. I found that I can also just listen to the audiobook, and I am really liking the audiobook. So I'm either gonna be listening and reading along, but I don't think I'm just gonna physically read this without the audiobook, just because it is a little bit dense. I'm going to quickly finish my rough edits and then go to sleep because it is past my bedtime. I'm almost done with this orientation and I'm thinking about giving it 5 stars because it's so freaking good. It is just like exploring so much that I find so fascinating, like this idea of like translation and how like race and ethnicity and culture play into like crafting a translation, and why, you know, white translators are choosing to translate and what they miss out on in like the culture of a translation. And like it's so interesting, and it's also like almost a thriller, and there's like this unreliable narrator because she's on drugs, and like you can't exactly believe everything, but it's so fascinating and it's so good. It's really good. So I'm nearly done with it. I actually have been listening to the audiobook a lot because I've just had more time to listen to the audiobook, but yeah, this is gearing up to be a 5-star. I just can't say it's a 5-star yet because I'm not done with it yet, but I have to go. Hi guys. No updates. No reading updates. But I do have a stack of books here. Yeah. I was looking at my hair done. It's like half the reason I come home sometimes. But no, I am shopping my shelves and I got some books. Got some books off my shelves that I'm bringing back to Boston. So let's shop my shelves. Show you what I'm putting in, packing for Boston, because I've been here a day. I'm leaving tomorrow. So first we have Planning Perfect. I got this delivered here because I knew I was going to be here, and sometimes my packages get stolen. This is one of my recent 5-star reads. It is one of my favorite YA contemporaries. It's absolutely perfect. Please buy it. So I'm bringing it because I love it. So then I have Everything I Never Told You. This is my mom's book, and it is our book club pick for my book club at school, and it's sad, and that's all I know about it. Then I have This Side of Paradise. I've been really in a classics mood. Like a classic, like a like a rich, like white man classics mood. Like I've been really feeling Dickens and Fitzgerald lately. Don't ask me why. But I really want to read this because it's set in Princeton, and I love that kind of like academia, like ritzy, uppity like society. I've only read The Great Gatsby, so by F. Scott Fitzgerald, so I want to read more by him, and I'm just kind of in the mood to read something that like challenges me. I really want to read Dickens. I want to read more Dickens. I don't know, I want to read more stuff. And then I have 3 Anne books. So I have Anne of Ingleside, which is number 6. I have Rainbow Valley, which is number 7, and Rilla of Ingleside, which is number 8. And then I have The Blythes Are Quoted, which is the unofficial number 9 in the Anne of Green Gables series. So I have these because I'm going to be finishing up this series this month, hopefully, and reading and annotating these books. So yes, and I was actually gifted this by a subscriber, so thank you so much for that. So I'm excited to read these. My favorite. Then I have All Adults Here by Emma Straub. I put this on my TBR for the month because I recently picked it up from like a little library, and I really want to read this author, and I don't know what it's about, but it seems like something I would enjoy. Then I have Circe. Again, I'm like reading this for a video. I put it on my TBR this month. I've had this for a while. I just need to read it. Yeah, I haven't liked a Madeline Miller yet, but I'm hoping this is gonna be the one. Then I have The Other Side of the Sky, again with like my weird classics mood. I'm also in like a YA fantasy mood because I watched Hunger Games for the first time, and now I'm like, I kind of could get with some like YA fantasy stuff. I did try out the audiobook for this, and I really did like it, so I would love to like listen and read, and I have the book, so like I might as well read it. And then I do finally want to read the Nevernight books. I have Nevernight and God's Grave. I want to listen to these on audio while I read them because they have footnotes, and I hate footnotes. Like I detest them because my brain doesn't work like that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna listen to the audiobook and we're gonna physically read them because I have the physical books. I bought them once upon a time, more than 3 years ago now. I want to finally read these because I want to know what the heck they're about. Like I don't know why a lot of people love them and a lot of people hate them, so we're gonna find out. I'm gonna bring Vicious by B. Schwab because I've been dying to get to this, and maybe if I actually have it in my person, I will read it. I'm primarily bringing books I have not read. Almost all of these books I haven't read. So I'm bringing a lot of TBR books. This was my dad's, and I gave it to him years ago, and I'm borrowing it. So, and then another book I want to finally finish, The Ways by Virginia Woolf. I'm halfway through this, halfway through this. I haven't given up on it. But I probably need to restart. I probably need to start from the beginning, to be honest with you. I know it has like 6 different perspectives. I know it's very confusing, and I know I put it down a hot minute ago. This is my suitcase. It's literally just books. I kind of forgot about this vlog. I forgot about this vlog. I don't know, and I last updated you what I was talking about. I don't know. I kind of took a week off of like really reading a lot or vlogging, kind of on accident, but it happened. I have to tell you what I finished reading for this. What did I read for this video? I don't even remember. The saga continues. I got The Way of Kings in the mail, and I got the right edition. I'm so excited. I want to read it so bad. Anyway, first I read I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I give this 3 out of 5 stars. It was fine. It was like, I didn't like the twist at the end. I don't know how other people have felt about it, but I do think it's a little cheap, maybe? It's one of those twists I don't like. I don't enjoy. While I had like a good time reading it, it wasn't 5 stars. Unfortunately. I read Disorientation and I give this 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. It is crazy. It is so good. It is so good. If you enjoy stories about like the art of translation, about how translation deals with culture and biases and just like the white lens of academia and like unpacking that, it's very interesting. So I really highly recommend this book. It's uproarious, big-hearted satire is what is what Goodreads says. It's really good, and I highly recommend it. It was like 5 stars. It was really good. So, and then I also read Honey and Spice. I don't know if I told you I read this. I didn't tell you I read these last 2 books. I read Honey and Spice. This was my romance book. I think I told you. Anyway, I thought I was really gonna like because it has like a DJ host, a radio show host. Oh my god. And she's like fake dating this like guy, and he's like a player on campus, and he's like a film student. And I did really like their relationship. I just felt like by the end of it, it was just not doing anything for me, unfortunately. I liked the ride, but I didn't like the payoff. The payoff wasn't there for me. I give it 3 stars. Then I read Witchlings, which I know I was gonna read Daughter of the Burning City. I switched this out because I was like, this is middle grade and I wanted to read a like non-adult book for this video. So I read Witchlings. I finished this last night and it was really good. It was really sweet. Guys, I love middle grade fantasy. And it's like so, I hardly read it, but I really love it. It's about this little coven of witches and they're witchlings. And so at like once you reach a certain age, you get sorted into a coven, but there are these people called spares who are not sorted into any coven, and they essentially are just like ostracized by society. They are just like, they don't get magic sometimes. They basically are made to like be slaves. And so our main character gets sorted and becomes a spare. And so Seven, our main character, and her other 2 spares decide to take on this like impossible task, which basically means that if they can complete this task, they can like start their own coven and be able to be like full witches. But kind of the odds are stacked against them. And so they go on this whole journey to accomplish and complete their impossible task, and also to kind of uncover these like secrets within their society and like the caste system. It's very interesting. It's really good. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really great. I know there is a sequel. Yeah, I read another book by this author, their first book, and I am very pleasantly surprised because I didn't love that one, but I've heard nothing but good things, and I'm so pleasantly surprised that I really liked it, and I will definitely continue on with the series. So yeah, those are all the books I read for this video. Sorry I didn't update while I was reading most of them, because I kind of forgot, but it happens. Yeah, with that being said, that's all for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to give it a like, comment, subscribe to all the things, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.